How's it going, guys? Panther Films here, and today we're going to be reacting to Season 1, Episode 1 of The Acolyte. This episode is titled Lost / Found. Yeah, I mean, finally, this show is out. We've been hearing about this show for fucking years now. And I was always kind of intrigued by the story and like the premise of it. But we're here, 2 episodes out today. 8 episodes in total for the season. I'm going to say how I felt when I saw the trailer for the show. I was a little bit, like, underwhelmed or a little bit like, is that it? You know, it didn't really excite me. Like, I'm still going to watch it, obviously. Here we are. But we'll just have to see how this show goes. I am kind of excited to see how it's going to work with the High Republic stuff because I don't know shit about the High Republic era. Because that's still fairly recent, I feel like, the High Republic stuff. And that's kind of annoying, too, that we've got more High Republic content, but barely any Old Republic stuff in live action. Or just in, like, canon, I guess. Now, we've had bits of Old Republic stuff, but not enough. It being set in the High Republic era is going to be interesting because it's a brand new era. It's not, like, restricted to Rise of Empire and stuff like that and the prequel trilogy, which is good. Like the Clone Wars stuff. That piques my interest, because now technically we'd be at like the height of the Jedi, right? But I mean, it's been a while since we had like a reaction. It's been like a month. Last reaction was Bad Batch stuff, and that was great. So we'll see if Star Wars can have back-to-back decent seasons. Probably not. We'll see. I do feel like a lot of people are going into this show already shitting on it. Like, I'm going to give this show a chance. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. There we go. I genuinely don't know anything about what the story might be other than just there's a Sith out there that might be killing Jedi and we need to find out if it's true or not. But then, you know, if there is a Sith, how does that work with the prequel stuff? Like, it's going to be interesting to see how they explain this all the way. There's only one way to find out how this is all going to go down, and that's to mainly watch the fucking show. And considering when we got 2 episodes today, then I guess we should just stop doolallying around with this shitty intro and get right into the fucking episode. 100 years before the rise of the Empire is a time of peace. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war, but in the dark corners of the galaxy, a powerful few learn to use the Force. In secret, one of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. Yeah, that's not green screen at all. I mean, I guess they could use the volume, to be fair.
Where's your Jedi?
I'm so curious to see how this show's gonna go. I genuinely don't know shit about the High Republic era. It's kind of exciting, though, because we're getting stories that isn't set around the fucking prequel shit and the Rise of the Empire stuff. We're actually getting new stories. Oh. Carrie-Anne Moss.
Yes, my child. Attack me. Jedi do not attack the unarmed. Yes, you do.
Choreography's not terrible. Jesus, how strong is she? She's trying to grab the lightsaber. Yeah.
Who trained you?
Oof. Why did she slit her throat there? I mean, you don't have to kill the innocents.
I have an unidentified Force user.
Force user? I mean, is she a Force user? I didn't really see her use the Force at all. The only people that can fight like that use the Force. Just use your lightsaber. Also, was that Carrie-Anne Moss there? I swear that was a stun double. Oof.
You.
Who?
I'm here to kill you.
Oh, well, okay, she does have the Force. There we go. That answers that. Now, is she a former Jedi? Green lightsaber. She's fighting
I do not want to go down this road.
a Jedi.
This is a fight that you will not win.
I mean, yeah, I mean, a knife versus a lightsaber, I don't know about that. What? What are you doing down there, dude? Yep. The innocent. Oh. Is she dead? You bring Carrie-Anne Moss in and you kill her off immediately? What the fuck? Oh, rip Trinity, I guess. She's dead. A Jedi has been killed. We're like 5 minutes in and there's already a death. She's not going to take the lightsaber? Nope. Just leave it, I guess. Yeah, I don't... Jesus. We got the standard transitions. There we go, the Acolyte. Interesting start. I wasn't expecting to lose Carrie-Anne Moss within the first fucking 5 minutes of the show, but it is what it is. Was that a dream?
Good morning, Pip.
That's an interesting droid. Is this a flashback? Because, like, why... Oh, is that a gun? That's a gun.
What I do with my days off is none of your business, Philip.
No rest for the wicked.
Oh, shit. So what, Trade Federation? This is kind of weird. Like, it's Star Wars, but it also doesn't feel like... It's kind of like Andor. Like, it's clearly Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Activate the shield immediately.
You know, we can hear you. I'll hold it together.
It's like a Game Boy. Oh! Jesus.
That was the pressure valve.
Also, why did we hear that explosion? We're in space. Okay. Village was burned. Her family was killed. Probably by Jedi.
Jedi?
Well, speaking of Jedi, I guess. Ugh. What the fuck?
We are looking for a former Jedi. She's a mechanic. Freelance out of ship repair, she bunks ship to ship.
They found her pretty quickly.
Sublevel, bunk 23.
Thank you for your cooperation.
It was very easy for them to find her. And look at that.
George?
Okay, they know each other.
I made night 2 years ago.
What are you doing here, then? You just wanted to pay your old friend a visit.
Whoa.
What's going on, Yord?
So how long have you been a mechanic?
Since I left the Order, so 6 years.
Dangerous job.
I mean, being a Jedi is also dangerous, what?
My circumstances were unique, but the Jedi Council made their decision.
You lost your entire family.
Okay.
Your training was difficult, to say the least.
So why are you here?
Last night, a Jedi was murdered on Ueda.
Master Indara.
You think that I killed her? Why would I kill Indara?
Wait, so it wasn't her... Someone else was controlling her, maybe. Or she's bullshitting.
That's her! She killed the Jedi and ruined my bar.
So she's been set up. Maybe she's got a twin? But we saw that it was her, but she woke up like... None of it even happened, so is it like a situation where she's being controlled by someone? Oh! Jedi Temple. Well, that... It looks a little different. The city's not as high now, right?
Close your eyes.
Alright.
Give yourselves over to its weight. What comes into your mind?
Well, that's just fucking lazy. Just press the button.
I see fire.
Fire.
It grows larger.
The Force is powerful. It is a power we must respect. But that is our lesson for another day. Time for lunch.
Time for lunch. I do find like the verbs a little bit interesting.
How lucky these younglings are to have such a compassionate teacher. I remember when you were that small. You were so shy. You and Master Indara were friends.
I was sad to hear she came to a violent death.
We have a suspect in custody, Osha Anasea. I see I have underestimated your attachment to her.
I see no reason for her to kill Indara.
The evidence against her is strong.
Yeah, but I mean, we've done this before with Clone Wars, right? The evidence against Ahsoka was also strong, but it was bullshit, right? So is this a very similar situation?
If it were to become public that a former Jedi killed one of our own,
Our political enemies could use it against us.
do I have your support in this endeavor?
Sure, I guess. Why not? I've got to get used to all these names, but at the same time, it's like, is there any point? Because, like, how many of them are going to stay alive? Ew! What the fuck? What is that?
Parasite used to subdue violent criminals.
Is it hurting him?
No way, he's having a great time.
It does.
Is it true you killed a Jedi?
We're planning an escape. You win?
No. What the fuck? Is that like you? Was it like that's a cyborg, right?
The ship's piloted by droid. We're gonna take them out and use the escape pods.
But that could kill us.
So you'd rather leave your fate to the Jedi?
Yes.
Enjoy prison.
Ugh. Oh wow, they became the Sith. So they put prisoners on a ship with just droids in it. Jesus. Well, that was easy.
Can you give me a hand? Bye-bye, Jedi killer!
Can you give me a hand? Use the Force. I mean, you've got the Force, right? Can't you just use it? Maybe she's not used it in a while, that's why. What? Wait, so she's disconnected to the what the fuck? Well, that was lucky. Oh. Well, there you go. Yeah, you gotta save that guy. He's a killer, though, right? Like, the most violent criminal. What the fuck is that, dude? Yep. Fucking dumbass. Why did you save him? I get it. She was a Jedi, right? Like, obviously she's gonna try and do things for the greater good or whatever, but... Are you supposed to, like, do that? How are you surviving that? Jesus. I mean... To be fair, that wasn't that bad. The engines just flew off. That was about it. She's probably fine.
Vanessa Rowe requests your presence at the detainment level.
Then I mustn't keep her waiting.
Permission to speak freely, Master Sol? Where do you keep old hollows of your former Padawan?
Why not?
Our memories are lessons. If we don't meditate on the past.
We're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, would Yoda be kicking about? I mean, he should be, right? Like, that motherfucker's ancient.
She orchestrated the whole thing!
Wait, so they captured them?
What happened to the young woman?
She helped me, and I betrayed her and took the last escape pod.
Hmm.
It doesn't clear for Indara's murder.
I request permission to go to Karlek and bring Osha in myself.
It is highly unlikely she survived.
I mean...
If she is guilty, it is my failure. Let me take accountability.
Hmm.
May the Force be with you.
She said it! She said the line. Damn. Did she black out again or what? Like, something happened there. And this is like the beginning of the episode where she woke up. Maybe she's got two personalities. What the fuck? That's not fucking terrifying.
Hey!
What? That was so weird. Like he was, whatever that was moving at a different frame rate.
But we need backup.
Is it Yod?
Oh, what is he doing?
I will redeem myself.
Yod, put your clothes on.
Why has he got his clothes off anyway? Is that her as a kid? Wait. It is her.
Hello, Osha.
Me?
Hello, sister.
Wait, so it's her twin sister? Yeah.
Always one, but born as two.
Always one but born as two.
As above sits the stars,
So below.
and below lies the sea. I will kill them all.
Yeah, because she doesn't have like that tattoo thing on her head. Yes, I did feel like something was off because Pitt wasn't even there. She was in a dream. A dream within a dream.
You wouldn't believe who I just saw.
Permission to speak freely?
Permission granted.
I was there when her sister started a fire that killed her entire family.
Her sister started it.
She had a sister.
I didn't know Osha was a twin.
Do you think that...
No. May is dead.
I mean, clearly not.
I saw her die.
Did you though? Is he looking at me? Really? She's just gonna run?
There's no way she could have survived this.
I mean, she did.
Follow me.
What did he censor? So this actress is playing two characters in Star Wars. You don't really get to say that a lot, do you? She probably found like the worst planet to crash on. Fucking snow planet. Ooh, yellow lightsaber.
Stop! In the name of the Republic and the Jedi Order!
I didn't do it!
I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't just jump.
Please, Saul! Believe me! I didn't...
How did you slip? I believe you.
May is alive.
I believe you.
Put your fucking lightsaber down, dude.
Stand down.
The Jedi live in a dream.
What the fuck?
If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. An acolyte kills the dream.
Huh. So who the fuck is that? Because it can't be a Sith user, right? Because, like, I mean, because the Sith, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be a Sith user. Didn't, like, the prequels say there hasn't been, like, a Sith sighting in 100 years? Doesn't mean that, like, the Jedi can't hide certain things. It's not like they haven't covered up stuff before, right? But yeah, I mean, overall, I wasn't terrible. Wasn't amazing. There's definitely some issues so far. Mainly being pacing. I think the pacing is a bit too unbalanced, I guess would be the right word. Because, like, you start the episode out with killing Carrie-Anne Moss. Of course, we all know from Matrix, Trinity, and Daredevil, she played the lawyer, right? Was it the lawyer, or was it, like, the journalist? No, it wasn't Daredevil, it was Jessica Jones. Iconic actress is killed off in 5 minutes of this show. And the crazy thing is, all her scenes were in the trailer, I feel like. So that's kind of what I mean with the pacing. Like, you kill off Carrie-Anne Moss, and then we slow down the episode, like, a lot, to introduce all these characters and stuff, which is fine, but I feel like the first scene of this episode should have been the last scene of this episode. But I understand that they need something to, like, jumpstart the story, which is the death of a Jedi. I don't know, it would have been interesting to see, like, the plot twist, I feel like, of, like, the sister. I feel like they revealed that a bit too early. Maybe not, though, because I guess they are hiding, like, who the dark side user is, or Sith is, right? So I guess we'll just have to see. But yeah, I mean, I so far there's not really a lot to, like, shit on, and there's not really a lot to praise, like, other than maybe, like, just the era it's set in. You know, I'm so glad we've got this. You know, I kind of said it in the intro, but and in the reaction. Like, I'm glad we actually get to see a show that isn't restricted to, like, the prequel stuff, the Rise of the Empire shit, right? The dark times. I'm glad we actually get this new era. Like, I like seeing the Jedi Temple and seeing, like, how different it is, because on, like, in the prequel trilogy, Coruscant's higher up, the city's rose over the past 100 years, so that's why, like, it feels like the Jedi Temple here is kind of floating, but it isn't, you know. But in the prequel trilogy, obviously, like, the city's more level with it, so that's kind of like a cool attention to detail, right? The ship designs are very interesting. That's kind of what I was talking about when they were repairing the ship. It was like, it's Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like, the gravitational, like, boot stuff, like, where the fuck was that in? You know, the other stuff. Like, it feels for some reason that 100 years ago was more advanced than the prequel stuff. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that they're doing, like, a twin angle. And that was, like, one of my theories in the reaction. Like, could it be a twin? I mean, good for the actress, I guess, right? Because she gets to play two different characters, but she's playing two characters in the same show in Star Wars, you know? So, like, you know, that's good for her. Obviously, we got episode 2 to react to. But so far, I mean, the most interesting character I feel like is Sol. Like, I like the Jedi Master who's a bit, you know, maybe he regrets his decisions about what happened to Osha, right, about letting her go and stuff, and letting her leave the Order. But at the same time, like, I'm a little worried he could get killed off. I mean, they killed Carrie-Anne Moss off, so what's stopping them from killing, like, every character off? I guess the biggest question now is, like, who the Sith is, or the dark side user. Because we don't really know if it's a Sith, but he does have a red lightsaber, so I guess we'll have to see. Like, the only way it could make sense is if the Sith or dark side user kills everyone. Or he isn't a proper Sith. Because what makes a Sith a Sith? The Force, lightsaber, like, does he have the Force, or is he just a pretender? Because it's not unlikely for someone just to find a red lightsaber, but he also can't be a pretender because if he's trained May, and May has the Force, and she was never a Jedi, therefore that means that he's got to be a Sith, right? Which is interesting, because it's like, didn't Ki-Adi-Mundi say there hasn't been a Sith sighting in like 200 years or whatever it was? I can't remember the exact line of dialogue. However, that doesn't mean anything because the Jedi cover up stuff all day long. So maybe whatever happens in this show, they cover it up. Like, they find out about more Sith and then they cover it up, and because of their incompetence, they let the Sith rise again. That makes perfect sense. I mean, the Jedi are incompetent. Like, well, they're not incompetent, but they're egotistical. Like Anakin, for instance, you know? Like, Anakin was telling, like, the Jedi Order, and, like, Mace was so, like, against bringing Anakin with them to go after Palpatine, but... And then, look what happened. Like, if Mace actually gave Anakin a chance, everything would have been different. I guess it's more stubborn than egotistical, but you get my point. But yeah, I did kind of like the creature designs in the bar. Because surprisingly, I think we might have seen, like, one or two, like, creatures we've seen before, or aliens we've seen before in Star Wars, but a lot of it was kind of new. Which would make sense. I mean, there would be different species around 100 years ago. And maybe some of them have just gone extinct as of the events of, like, the prequels and the original trilogy, right? It's totally plausible. Or maybe there's just less of them. Like, much less of them. I guess there's also one kind of nitpicky thing. Like I said, there was sound in space, which is just a common thing in Star Wars anyway. But I guess, like, the fire. Technically, that fire should have gone out pretty quickly, right? Because of the oxygen. But I was thinking that when that scene was happening. However, there's been fires on ships in Star Wars, like, outside the ships, like, a lot. I think there was one in Clone Wars, there was one in Revenge of the Sith, there was one in Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi. Like, it's not uncommon for there to be fire in space. Like, Star Wars isn't exactly a consistent franchise, even when George Lucas owned the IP. So, there being fire in space makes no sense. But at the same time, their space could be different from ours. So I wasn't really going to point that out, but I guess I did now. But yeah, Star Wars has just always been inconsistent with, like, the space stuff and even the story shit. Like, fucking Luke and Leia, like, oh, they were brother and sister. How did Vader not sense that Leia was his daughter? But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of intrigue with that Sith user. Or I keep saying user. Like, it's not a Sith user, it's a dark side user. There's no such thing as a Sith user, you're just a Sith. But yeah, I'm just curious who he could be. Because we know it's a guy, right? It's a guy with, like, a modulated voice. But I don't think it's going to be anyone that we know in Legends, right? It can't be. It's not going to be fucking Revan. It's not going to be Bane. You know, it's not going to be an older public Sith. Like, it's probably going to be a brand new Sith, so there's no real reason to guess, like, who it could be. Because it's probably just an original character. Now, the question is it someone we're going to see outside the mask first? You know what I mean? Like, could it be a character that we see later on in the story or in the later episodes, but we don't know it's the Sith until later? But there's signs that it could be that character or something. They could do something like that, like where, oh shit, it's that character that we've seen before. Or it could be a Jedi. Also, it was cool to see, like, the Trade Federation stuff. Right? What they called Nemodians, I think? I always found, like, the way they talk weird, because it's like their mouth, because it obviously, like, the prosthetic and stuff, it's like it lags. Like, they say lines, but then the mouth moves after they said the line. It's sometimes weird. Like, it doesn't move in the right order. But it was cool to see them. Also, I do feel like the Jedi, they've got like, definitely a different kind of presence, and I guess that's mainly, like, cockiness. Like, they feel like they can do anything because they beat the Sith, you know? Like, there's no Sith around, we can do whatever we want. We're in charge now. Like, threatening, like, the Nemodians with, like, a mind trick and stuff, and it's like, and they're backing away and scared, and they're threatening them. Like, that's kind of not what a Jedi would do, but at the same time, it would make sense. Over time, they just start to get cocky. But it also could just be Yord, right? Because Yord seems to be a bit of a dipshit. But yeah, I will say the choreography was pretty good in that first fight scene. It wasn't bad. And I kind of liked that it was mainly no lightsaber in that duel, right? It was mainly just like a fist fight, which, you know, that adds a little bit of flair to it, I feel like, because most Star Wars stuff is just a lightsaber duel, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with a juicy lightsaber duel. But you can always have good choreography without a lightsaber in Star Wars, because Jedi don't just learn how to use lightsabers, right? They have different fighting styles for a reason. It's just rare you ever get to see them fight without a lightsaber, which is kind of on George Lucas there, to be honest. But the only time you really got to see them fight without a lightsaber, I feel like, was episode 3 with Anakin and Obi-Wan. But that section was so stupid. Like, Anakin running towards Obi-Wan on the table, and Obi-Wan just, like, kicks him, and Anakin flies out. Like, what? That makes no sense. Like, why would Anakin not brace for that? So that was, like, my biggest issue with, like, the Battle of Heroes on Mustafar. Like, just that one section where they just fight hand to hand. Like, it was just poorly done. I said it during the reaction, I do kind of like the robes. And I guess the lightsabers, too, are a little bit different. I do find it weird, though, that May didn't take... Was it Indara's lightsaber? You know what I mean? I think that would have been interesting. Like, they have to collect the lightsabers for something. Also, technically, May was outmatched by Indara, right? Like, she was losing, but she used an innocent bystander against Indara, right? So, it is what it is. However, I know there's probably going to be a lot of debate on how the fuck did Indara die by a little blade in the chest, but people survive getting stabbed by a lightsaber. I don't think a lightsaber's gone through someone's chest and they've lived. It's usually just been, like, down here. Which is a bit of a problem, too, because I bet Qui-Gon's just rolling in his grave, just like, what the fuck? But also with that, like, I'm pretty sure Qui-Gon got stabbed, like, in the chest. I think he actually did get stabbed in the chest. Because, like, when you look back on the episode 1 fight, like, Maul does the boom, boom, then does the turn, right, and then stabs Qui-Gon, and it looks like it goes through his stomach, but then it cuts to that shot where you see, like, the lightsaber come out of Qui-Gon, and it's, like, more hair, right? It looks like it's about hair. So it does make sense that Qui-Gon wouldn't survive that, like, versus, like, hair. I mean, sure, it cooks your fucking organs and stuff, but at the same time, it's like, if you can just survive the initial hit, you can easily, like, get to a Bacta tank or something like that and fix it up, right? So it's a little annoying that, you know, that constantly happens, but I'm curious how many people are going to be a bit annoyed about, like, a blade killing a Jedi, but not a lightsaber killing, like, any other character, like, specifically Reva, I feel like. In my opinion, I feel like Reva should have died in Kenobi, like, in that scene. Like, Vader kills her. Like, that would have been perfect. It would have been, like, a full circle for her. But instead, it's just like they kept her alive for some reason, and I don't know why. It's like, you're not really going to do anything with her character going forward, are you? So it's like, why keep her alive? And I guess Sabine, it also happened with Sabine. But Sabine, it was more like hair. Like, it was literally like hair. So Sabine made more sense to survive that. Reva, not so much, because you're telling me Vader missed twice? Because apparently he missed to join Order 66 too. Like, how the fuck? Like, what? Why wouldn't you just do that? Yeah, like I said, overall, it's fine. You know, I feel like it does what it needs to do. It's got the mystery angle of, like, okay, what's going on? Why is this happening? How did May and Osha get separated for so long? And how did, like, where's she been this whole time? Did she find the dark side user or Sith immediately? Kind of interesting now that I think about it. One sister finds a Sith and one sister finds a Jedi. So, like, they're polar opposites of each other, but they're also one, right? What was that line of dialogue? Like, we are one or something like that. Which, ooh. Actually, that could be interesting. Because Osha doesn't have a connection to the Force, right? But we've established that May does. What if, because May's using the Force, Osha can't? Now, granted, it might not be that, but that would be interesting. Like, they both borrow off of each other, kind of. But wouldn't... Oh, isn't that kind of like Rise of Skywalker, though? Like the dyad shit, or whatever. Why did they have to make that canon? Fuck. That could actually be what they're going for here. Like, two sisters separated, but their connection is so powerful. Like, May didn't... I don't think May got into contact with Osha, but Osha sensed that May was still out there. They might be doing the dyad stuff. Oh no. Yeah, like I said, overall, it was a pretty okay episode. Not really a lot else to talk about, to be honest, so I guess we should just go react to episode 2 right fucking now. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will see you for the next one. Ta-ta and farewell.